Well, good morning. Welcome to the Seneca County Commissioner meeting. It's November 3rd, Thursday, 10 a.m. And we'll call this meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Kirschner, can you hear us?
Yeah, he may have to unmute.
Okay. Make sure he's in with us.
Yep, he is.
Okay, thank you. Mike, would you like to?
I'm there.
Okay, we're looking to you for the prayer, Reverend. Thank you.
Okay, let's bow our heads for a moment and offer a prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask for your guidance as we make decisions that affect those people that we represent. We ask in a special way that you bless veterans as Veteran Day approaches. We ask that you bless them and their families for defending our freedom. We ask all this through your Son. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Schuck.
Here. So I will, at this time, accept the motion to accept the video, audio recording minutes of our regular board session on Thursday, October 27th.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Schuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, we'll jump right into commissioner reports. Commissioner Schuff?
Budgets, that time of the year here, so we're really diving into those, but it's preoccupied a lot of our time here this week. Tomorrow we'll have a Seneca County Recovery Task Force meeting. We're going to be taking a live tour of the Legends Recovery Center that's out in Green Springs, so the group's going to get together tomorrow, get a tour of that, and then have our meeting immediately following the tour. Also, just a quick reminder, Veteran of the Year, that ceremony is next week, 1 week from now at the VFW, Green Springs. Not too late to get your tickets, so let's go out there and honor our veterans. And then just another reminder, Election Day is this coming Tuesday, November 8th, so get out and exercise your right to vote. That's all I have.
Okay, good. A few things. So the staff has been working hard getting into the weeds and the budget, looking at all the individual budgets, so we try to stay away from them when they're kind of in that mode. But keep it up, good job. I think we're making some progress. We will have our first budget hearing today at 11:30. The Veterans Services will be coming in. We looking at the calendar, we've repeated this several times, but I'm going to repeat it again. Next week, the 10th, I believe the sheriff's coming in to present his budget. Then we'll have a follow-up on the 17th. Commissioner Kirschner will be here. There will be a meeting on the 22nd, Tuesday, due to Thanksgiving on Thursday. And then we hope to be really close with the budget, but for sure on December 1st, that's our really goal to approve the final budget going into next year. So we have today's meeting and 4 other meetings. So we'll be trickling in some hearings and more open discussion as we get closer to that. We discussed the annexation before, the agreement between the city of Fostoria and it'd be Loudon and Jackson Townships. There's a meeting now set for December 7th at 6 o'clock in Fostoria for that hearing. The purpose is to extend the current agreement that's expired for another year while we continue to work forward to a new agreement. That's critical because we have some pending annexation request out there and everybody's in cooperation. We have to give a 30-day notice per the prosecutor, so December 7th is the date. I've added 30 days up from last week and I'm like, why is this 5 weeks? But it had to be 30 days, so I support that. Downtown meeting this morning at TCEP, and just continue to impress with how organized and hard those guys work down there. I guess that I'll end it there. Commissioner Kirschner's on the call. He's not formally in the meeting, but we welcome him via Zoom. So Commissioner Kirschner, any comments from you?
Well, just to re-emphasize the hard work that the Board of Elections is doing this time of year,
Yes.
especially with the midterms here, and to repeat Commissioner Shuff's request, and everyone, if possible, get out and vote. It's important, extremely important. You can absentee ballot up until Monday. You won't be able to do it on Tuesday, voting day, but you can go to the Board of Elections on South Washington Street and vote remotely or vote there prior to Tuesday if you're not able to make it. It's extremely important for us to exercise our responsibility in voting. So please get there. And also, I am very impressed with the work that the office staff is doing on the budget. We're breaking it down, as Commissioner Paradiso said. We're trying to look at every line item and every office, every elected, every department head. So I'm happy that the process is moving forward, and I'm happy to tell you that sometime in early December we will have a budget that's fiscally responsible.
Thanks for bringing that up about the Board of Elections. So County Administrator report.
All right, so to continue with the budget talk, we were going through the budget and noticed that Barb had came across, back in September, the auditor's office had sent out an email on September 30th that changed the definitions of supplies and equipment. And anything with a useful life over 2 years is going to now be considered equipment. Reviewing the budgets, it does not look like the departments did that change into their 2023 budget. So we opened, I spoke with Julie this morning, decided let's start and make sure that the 2023 budget is correct and we're not doing any adjustments at the beginning. So we reopened the budget this morning at 9 a.m. For the departments and offices to make those adjustments to reflect that definition. Yes, so we are gonna have that open from today until Monday at noon. So we just ask all the departments and offices to get in there and make that correction so those lines are correct moving into 2023. We'll re-pull the numbers and start again on hopefully Monday.
So the amount
So-
we reopened, the amount shouldn't go up for the request.
The amount
We just
should
need
be
to
the same.
You just need to reclassify. it.
Right, so we'll be able to see that, but,
Okay.
yeah, so they just need to kind of move the amounts from probably, generally, it's gonna look like going from supplies to equipment, because what they previously purchased in supplies is now, some of that's considered equipment. So budgets are open again, get in there and do that as quick as possible so we can pull those numbers. So moving on, I have some leases that, I'm reviewing leases that are expiring at the end of 2022. I have one from the Health Department as well as the Parks District. So the Health Department, they currently utilize the space over at the CSB building. And they are asking for, they would like to modify the definitions of the premises being leased due to the construction of the CSB currently. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, that they are asking to change kind of that, and hopefully
Current lease.
the current not the current lease, the lease going into 2023. We'll renew the lease for 2023 in probably 3 years. And they would like
Most of their
to,
lease expires this year.
yeah.
Because
So,
we're under construction.
because we're under construction, so they would like to modify that, but looking at construction hopefully being done in February, would be hopefully the latest, but not positive the timeline
So
on
we're
that
not
right
gonna-
now.
We can increase the lease based on our improvements.
We could, yeah.
So I'd like, let's table that till Commissioner Kirschner's here.
Absolutely.
On the 17th. I'd like to have all three of us here for that kind of stuff.
Perfect, and then I
Okay.
will, if we talk about that on the 17th, I can invite Ann over as well for that.
Sure.
And then we also received one from the parks. I reached out to them about theirs. They would like to do a year-by-year lease. Previously, their lease was, I believe, They've been there since 2018.
You okay with that?
So they would like to do a year-by-year lease, and they are asking if the commissioners would be willing to lease the current office space without a fee, but instead allow the rental funds to be directed to their budget for the building project of their new office in recognition of support that the county commissioners were a donor in support of that on a recognition wall in the new building. So they are asking to not pay any rent in 2023.
How
they-
much money is that?
So they currently, for 2020, in 2018 to 2021, they did not pay any rent because they did the upgrades to the office space that they were in. 2022, the lease states $5,000 on the last day of January and July. So $10,000 is what they would owe for 2022. And they're asking for that to be waived so we
Talk
can.
about that 17th.
Sounds good.
You want to say anything, Mike?
Mike just popped on.
Well, I would simply say that if we do decide something along these lines, it wouldn't be the commissioners who deserve the plaque, it would be the taxpayers who deserve the plaque. So it would be a participation of Sun County taxpayers and not commissioners. I mean, we make the decision, but it's not our money, it's the taxpayers' money. So I don't know which way this will go, but if we decide to waive the rent, recognition ought to be given to the citizens and not to the commission.
So we're tabling both these till you're here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And what we try to do is commissioners obviously have a quorum, we can conduct business, we can approve things, but we just internally, if it can wait, we'd like to have all three of us here for the full discussion and input and then the vote. So this fits into that, I think it can wait, right?
Absolutely.
It's an emergency.
Yep, no.
If it couldn't wait, we would act today, but, so that's why we did what we just did. Okay, keep going.
Gives us
Thank you.
plenty of time still. We have an elected officials department head meeting on Tuesday, November 8th. We recognize that as being election day, so just thinking maybe we should probably cancel that and talk about maybe December's.
I'll be working the election that day, and I think Jimmy will be too, but.
Okay.
Go to 24-hour one, Jimmy?
Yeah. Last time it was like 17.
Monster drinks.
18, something like that.
Cooler full.
Yeah. I'm a zombie the next day. It's fine.
Yeah, I think as we go into next year, Commissioner-elect Frank back there, we organize, we kind of look at our calendar and how we're going to do things. We started the elected calls during the COVID crisis on a more regular basis. Then we went to monthly, and I'm not sure it's effective. So we might want to relook at that. I love having a platform where electeds and the commissioners and all of us can get together and talk. But if it's not productive or we don't really have a reason, sometimes those meetings are either not attended well or we're just staring at each other kind of thing. So I like the concept, and so let's bring that up and talk about that first of the year, how we want to do that.
Do you want to cancel then December's as well? Just make the decision now to cancel November and December, and then look at it in January when we,
That's fine.
okay,
Yep,
thank you.
okay.
Okay, and then the last thing that I have is on Tuesday, I believe it was, we met with the GLCAP, and they put a great project together for us to look at the jail improvement project and money that's available through the state. There's about 50 million. So Carrie is on the call with us right now. But what we discussed is the capital improvement projects at the sheriff's office, some projects that they are in need of. And so we went two different routes with this. We obviously, the big portion of this is that there has to be a match, and therefore that's going to be the conversation that you guys to have today. So there are, I'll go ahead and share my screen so you guys can look at the two different options that were presented.
Can I just make a
Absolutely.
statement? Commissioner Kirschner, This was GL Cap, remember the big binder? We applied for this grant prior and were not successful. So we've had a series of meetings with GL Cap, the sheriff, and internally, and we've updated that request. And we're basically
Yes.
going to resubmit that. So you're real familiar with it, and that's what this is. So, right, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, and you understand. Keep going.
Yep, so I will go ahead and show you the two options that we discussed.
Yep, are you able to share?
Yep, let's see, I don't believe,
Gary's on there.
here we go. There we go. Okay, so this first one that you have up is the project that basically was submitted last year, except for a few that have been taken off of the list. So this has been updated based on some of the projects that have been done. Carrie, did you want to step in and speak at all in regards to this?
At this time, you go right ahead. I think you're spot on. This is a design build proposal through Moser Group, and SSOE came in and did the estimates after being provided also various estimates that were provided through the Sheriff's Department for different aspects of the proposal. It is to upgrade the facility that is built in 1994. So you're looking at a 28-year proposal basically to upgrade and improve the jail for the health and safety of not only the sheriff and his employees, but also the inmates.
So this first one includes the windows, and we had a few discussions about the need, and let me get to that down here, to replace the exterior windows. So they have 19 office windows that are having some issues, so we kept that on both. However, they do have 77 additional windows that are security windows in the jail, and that was a very large cost difference in this. So the first one up here that you see, you have $5,214,500. The 25% match on that project would be 1.3 million if the commissioners were to agree to a 25% match. So the ODRC request would be 3.9 for this project here. And then the second one we did was, pull that up here, a little bit bigger. That one was for close to 3.7, as you can see here. And what we did is remove those exterior detention windows. So there's a significant difference in that cost. And the 25% match for this proposal would be $918,425.
So saves us about $400,000 off our match portion.
Yeah. So,
Commissioner Kirschner, you good?
I am.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so we're on a time crunch on this one. Carrie's on, and they would like us to make a decision today because the application needs to be in, I think, by this, what is it, the 16th? Carrie, you want to send this in?
16th or 17th, correct?
16th or 17th, so I'll start with a few comments. I would like to hear Commissioner Kirschner's input, but come down to you and I, okay? So, in general, I like a grant where we put $1 in and we get $3 for every dollar we put in. So that, we start off with, I think that's a good use of taxpayer money. We get a little bit it's a little bit of a moving target because we committed to do this. Then when we did not get the grant, we went ahead and paid out of the original $1,250,000 that we said we would use for the grant. The grant was, we weren't successful, but in our heads, we knew there were a lot of needs and we had this $1,250,000 set aside. So we went ahead and checked some boxes of needs, and we paid for those with county money. We've updated the proposal with those improvements taken out, and we've added some more improvements. And then we've just received a request today for $700,000 more improvements from the sheriff. So you know, there's a point in this whole process with facilities that, you know, we really got to take a look at it. Now, that said, I like this personally with taking the windows out. And let's see if we get it. I mean, we won't know, Carrie, probably for what, 120 days, 90 days? When will we know if we're successful?
Last year, that it was within 60 days that we were all notified who was funded. So I would say you're looking at, with it going in November, December, February, March.
Okay, so I'll pause. Let's listen to Commissioner Kirschner, then you wrap it up, okay? Mike, would you like to say anything on this?
Sure. Couple of things. First of all, Gary, somewhere along the way, there was also a request out there a couple of years ago about adding beds to the jail. There was a big push from the state standpoint. Is any of that still pending?
Within this proposal, and I see Sheriff is on, so please feel free to jump in. Within this proposal, I'll say last proposal, it's my understanding there's around 182 beds available. At that time, there was 200, a little over 200 within the facility. This year, in talking with the sheriff and the chief, I believe they're at about 160 some inmates, so they're not at full capacity and there is not a wait list. So it is right now that we are not requesting to add beds within this proposal.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there was some talk with the facility with, right, to add a mezzanine.
I do.
Add additional beds for retention, I think, especially in the women's part of the prison. But I don't know if the sheriff wants to comment on that at all.
Jim?
He's on.
He's able to mute or unmute.
He's unmuted.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
We have some communication problem, obviously. But to the point of this proposal, commissioners, I think that wisdom will dictate that we ought to seriously consider that match. I don't know what that does to our capital improvement budget, but I think it would have to be added to that capital improvement budget. But to be able to get something at 3 times what we invest is a pretty good situation. 4 times.
I agree with everything you guys said. I mean, for every dollar we throw in, if we can get 3 back, I think it'd be foolish to not go for it. So we got improvements we need to make out there, so let's try to stay on top of it.
Is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I'll second that motion that we move forward with the second proposal and the $918,425 match
Okay,
with our application to submit with GLCAP. We have a first and a second. Kylie?
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Anthony, Commissioner Paradiso, the only question I have is the money that we've already had invested, is that considered part of the match?
No. No, this will be new money and we will, if successful, to your opening comment, we will have to adjust our capital, we're gonna have to move some things around. But
Okay.
with the 3-to-1 match, I think if we get it, that'll be a good problem. But yeah, no, what we paid for already, we paid for, this is additional. So I'm kind of in the camp of this, well, any further capital requests out there, we park them till we see what happens here, so. Okay, good, next.
That's all I have.
That's all you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Good report. So now, we're gonna go into old business, and we have with us North Central Electric, Ed and Audrey, and we have Aaron from TSEP. You guys have the floor, feel free to come up. And Commissioner Kirscher, this is about, we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes on a housing study, and we're gonna get that formal request today. So go ahead, you're up.
Yeah, so, do you want to start or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. So,
You guys are awesome.
yeah, obviously, we know that housing is an issue locally. We know that there are a lot of jobs out there. We're hearing from all of our manufacturers, our commercial businesses, that they cannot hire workers right now. They can't find them. Unemployment is also very low, hovering at 4%, sometimes lower, sometimes slightly higher. We know we need housing. The city of Tiffin completed a housing study in the fourth quarter of 2019 that showed the need for between 450 and 550 housing units just in the city of Tiffin itself. You extrapolate that out, Tiffin's about a third of our population. You can do the math quite quickly and see that in theory we'd have a larger need even countywide. We know that exists because there are hundreds of jobs currently in our community and within this county that are unfilled right now that folks are trying to fill, whether that be manufacturing, whether it be commercial. So one of the ways to solve that is to get more people living here. We know we need housing inventory. The realtors will tell you that. The Tiffin Housing Study told you that. The unfortunate downside was the Tiffin Housing Study started to get some traction, and what happened a couple of months later, COVID hit. Now that study is a bit obsolete. So what we've been working on with the TSEP, with North Central, and with Commissioner Paradiso is the hopes that the county would assist with funding a housing study that would be countywide, a rural housing study. Number one, because the Tiffin study is out of date, and of course only identified properties within the city of Tiffin, which are few and far between as far as where housing could be readily available. We don't need someone to come in here and build 5 homes. We need somebody to come in here and build 500 homes in this county. To help solve the employee shortage that we are facing. So if I may, Commissioner, I'd like to pass these. This is the plan that we have come up with DeSalvo Development Advisors. And they are the firm that did the City of Tiffin housing study. Would you like one? They're the firm that did the Tiffin housing study. Got it right there.
Pete.
Yeah, Pete DeSalvo. So they completed the Tiffin housing study. Very good at what they do. This program, though, there are 4 steps. It actually goes one step further beyond the Tiffin study. And actually, if you kind of turn the page and go to step 4, you will see that they're actually going to meet with stakeholders. And so they're going to go out and find housing developers and actually have some sit downs. I'm sorry, did I give you some of these printed out front and back, and others were
You saw me flip it.
Yep, I saw you flip it.
So I was paying
I can help
attention,
you there.
but I just didn't have it.
I appreciate it, Commissioner. I appreciate the attention. So what we're looking at, Commissioner, is a total of only $14,000 for the entire cost of the study. But when this is complete, Pete and his team will then take this basically to show on the road. They're going to help us recruit some housing developers and actually have some sit-down meetings with us here to try to figure out how we can obtain housing in Seneca County. North Central has been a great partner. They've offered to assist with this. They have service territory throughout Seneca County. And again, they've proven, as we have proven, when studies are done, when co-ops come together that are owned by the people, we can accomplish some really great things here in Seneca County, with broadband being one of them. This is the next phase. If we want to continue to see Seneca County grow and advance and give us the ability to bring in additional jobs, better paying jobs, we're going to need more people living here. And this is step one towards doing that, because the struggle that we're facing with right now, of course, there are rising interest rates, there's inflation, and other issues facing our country, but Pete is still confident. Housing developments are still occurring. With Intel coming here, thousands of jobs, average wage well over $100,000. I get all of the leads that come directly across my desk. The manufacturers that we're seeing now, you're not seeing many of those leads that they want to build a facility that's 50,000 square feet and employ 100 or 150 people. We're seeing leads now that most of them are 500 people plus. Just the one yesterday that came across needed 330 acres for what they're wanting to do, because these things are tied to Intel and those types of projects. Thousands and thousands of jobs are coming to Ohio. We're going to miss the opportunity if we do not have more housing here. So we're here to encourage you to support this study. Of course, financially is how it's going to get done. And the county has been very willing to partner and help fund these sorts of studies in the past. I know North Central is willing to assist, so I'll let Ed, if you'd like to say a few words, jump in here.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, so he gave you a really good overview of what we're talking about doing, but let me just put it into a little bit of context from a cooperative point of view. Co-ops and municipals typically don't do projects together like this. But North Central and its relationships with its municipals within its territories are a little different than what you see in the rest of the state. And we have proven that we can cooperate together for the betterment of our citizens, right? And so the goal here is to provide what is needed within the county and to put aside those differences of who serves what territory, right? So cooperating with TCEP, cooperating with the city of Tiffin will enable both Tiffin and North Central to benefit, and therefore the county to benefit as a whole. Aaron really talked very well about all of the need that's out there. I can speak from a personal standpoint. I came here around 4 years ago, and one of the options I had was, from my contract with my employer, was to live in Seneca County. I could not live in Seneca County. There was no housing available for me. And that's just one instance, but I hear that repeated constantly. When we talk about the broadband side, there are some ways you can get funding, and one of those is housing projects. So when we want to bring dollars in, and you talked about the getting $3 for every one of the ways you can do that is to do these housing projects, and then you can attract outside grants to provide some of those infrastructure dollars. North Central is very familiar with how to deal with the electric side of this. But beyond that, co-ops in particular have also been formed to do all of the other types of utility services. So North Central is prepared to bring to bear all of its resources to assist with this and to divvy up responsibility between the city so that nobody and no one entity is responsible for the total amount, but rather we can all bring resources to bear to ensure that we provide adequate housing in the county. And so with that, I second Aaron's request that we really would like for the commissioners to look at funding this study so that way we can determine exactly where this needs to be, what resources are necessary to make it happen, and then formulate a plan to move forward to have it happen.
Commissioner Kirschner, comment?
What was the number there?
$14,000.
$14,000. That would cover 100% of the cost of the study. Tiffin Seneca Economic Partnership nor North Central are making any money on this. This is part of our facilitation. This is what we do. This is the mission of our organization. So all of that money is strictly to go to pay for the Salvo Development Advisors to complete this work. The reason, if it seems a little steep, they're actually going to come here. They are going to interview local builders and people in this region to figure out what the barriers are and help us identify on how we can remove some of those barriers to housing. So they're going to spend a substantial amount of time in Seneca County interviewing folks face to face. It's not going to be one of these virtual things.
Yeah.
What's the top?
Having a hard time hearing you, Mike.
Sorry, Mike, you're echoing.
I vote yes.
It's like he's not talking next to his mic or something.
He said, I vote yes.
Technically,
What officially
You
goes
better be
out?
right.
I'm gonna
You
write
better be
that
right,
down.
so,
I vote yes, blah, blah, blah.
Well, he's not a voting member, but he supports this He's giving you his comment, giving us all his comments. Okay, you're up, Commissioner. What are your thoughts?
Housing's a big issue. If you get on Realtor.com, get on Zillow, I mean, if we're gonna grow and we're gonna thrive and succeed here, we need places for people to live. There's people I've talked to in the past 5 to 10 years that were trying to locate here, bring their business here, and housing was a huge issue. Like I said, get online, see what's out there. There ain't a whole lot, so we gotta address it.
Yeah, and I think from getting to know, first of all, everyone knows Aaron, right? But getting to know Ed and the folks at North Central, Audrey's there now, I've grown to realize that you're more than just hanging power lines on poles. You know, I think that's what we all think as citizens, that, you know, they're an electric company and they bring you power. So because you're standing there and you're North Central and you're in our county, and to me, we've developed a good relationship with broadband and other things, and you're willing to not only, you know, extend the pole and tap into the house or put it underground, but you're willing to look at a lot more than that. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're blessed to have here in the county. If we're gonna move the county forward, we have to do things like this. And so, with taxpayer money, we try to stay out of, you know, individual projects and that kind of thing, but we're more supportive in doing business in our county, and how can we be friendly and break down barriers and make this county interesting. So Aaron stood here a couple weeks ago when we talked about our enterprise zone that we're talking about, that study. And, you know, they could build that 350 acre facility in Sandusky County, but there are gonna be a lot of people living here, working there. Or they could build it here, or they could build it on the county line. You know, it's a regional thing. So, I support it. So, I will make a motion that we, move forward with funding this study. Caveat, you have to come back and give us an update period.
Well, we'll be back frequently.
Okay. So,
I'll second President Parity, so.
okay,
I
well,
just had one.
Yeah,
I just had one
comments.
One comment, there was a study done too, and Aaron was aware of this, or at least calculation of those people that live in Seneca County that actually go to another county to work.
you have that stat.
And conversely, people who live outside the county that come to Seneca County to work. And we were sorely short
2-1.
in that transfer. In other words, we need, the $14,000 will come back to us very quickly by the folks that live in the county, go to the retail stores, buy the cars in our county, and spend their money in Seneca County rather than live outside the county and get into work. Because those folks are spending their money in other areas. So the return on this investment is pretty clear. $14,000 will come back to us in a very short period of time by virtue of the fact these folks work here and then spend, spend money, buy groceries, et cetera here.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you guys so
Thank you.
much. Appreciate
Ed,
it.
you take off. Audrey, you want to say anything?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming over,
Thank you.
you know, and you appreciate it when the CEO comes over as part of the ask as well. That's pretty important to us when we see that, you know, the boss came in and he's all over the country, so we appreciate that. Okay, so back to the agenda. Is there any other old business? We good? Anything you want to bring up, old business?
Not at this time.
We're going to jump into new business then. So, Kylie?
I have some supplemental appropriations. First one is an over appropriation correction that needs to be made in the IDEP and STEP grants. So the 23 IDEP repeat offenders for driving while intoxicated, it's a total of $15,501.08 correction. $12,083.08 in salaries, $224.77 for Medicare, $387.53 into workers' comp, and $2,805.70 into PERS. And then the 23-step state and community highway safety grant is a correction of $17,001.08. And that is $13,209.83 into salaries, $246.52 into Medicare, $467.53 to workers' comp, and $3,077.20 to PERS. I have a general fund supplemental appropriation for the sheriff for inmate psychotropic medication. This is a medication reimbursement of $14,898. Recorder equipment fund, 1156. They were short for their PERS for 2022, so that is $110. General Special Projects Fund, 1193, into the contract services for $1,482. That is the additional funds to pay for an attorney for Pivot Services. Victims of Crime Act grant, 2110. It's a total of $654.60. That is the PERS, $436.10, and then their PERS cash fund for $218.50. And then a general fund for the sheriff for a reimbursement for the School of Opportunity for security reimbursement. It's a total of $289.41. And the breakdown on that is salaries, $71.80. Medicare, $1.04. PERS, $13. Salaries, $170.28. Medicare, $2.47. And their PERS criminal sentencing, $30.82. And I have two resolutions. The first one is approving the Crossway Facility Governing Board appointments for starting effective 12/2/22 till 12/1/25 for Rhonda Best and Melissa Weininger. And then authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to enter into a purchase agreement with Mercy Health Tiffin Hospital. And that's it.
Did they get, the construction out there at Crossway, is that all figured out and underway? And is there something going on there?
Yeah, that has nothing to do,
No,
yeah.
but it's just a side note, we need to do anything?
Not at this time, I'm hoping next week we
Okay,
will
so
have that
that's
set.
something flying around.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm good. Okay,
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the
Thank
new
you.
business, the supplemental appropriations and resolutions as presented.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Chef,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. After the fact, Commissioner Kirschner, sorry, any comments from you?
Just that it's another moment where we need to make certain that we know exactly what appointments we make. We're talking about the Crossway Governing Board. That's another one that we may have overlooked in the past about who we had to make appointments for. So,
Yeah.
You have it.
okay.
Good job.
So we could,
Jamie's nodding that we have added that to the list.
good.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, we should just always instead of assuming every time we do that, we should just.
Absolutely.
you
It's an
know,
ongoing process right now to
ongoing,
try to get
yeah.
all those, so,
Boy, there's so many of those.
yeah.
Okay, so that concludes formal business. We'll open it up to the audience. Anybody have, report or anything? Good to see you. I see Councilman Love in the background there from, anything to report from Attica?
Nope, we're good.
Republic, Boonville, any of those places?
All is well.
All good? Commissioner-elect Frankert?
We're good.
Okay, anybody?
All good.
Okay, so hearing none from the audience, before we go to public comment, are we going to take a recess? Is that how we're gonna do this?
Yeah, I think that would be the
Okay,
best.
so we'll have public comment, we will recess, come back in at 11:30. A few minutes before that, we have a budget hearing from the Veterans Commission. I believe they'll be bringing in their board and some people and for their report. So you're welcome to go, come back, stay, or whatever. So public comment outside.
Yep, if you're joining us on Zoom, you'd like to come forward to speak during public comment, you can unmute now.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Charlene from Regional Planning.
Okay.
I just wanted to lend my support to the countywide housing study. I've met with Aaron from TSEP. We've met with Tiffany Schaefer from GLCAP, and we had some great discussion, and I think it is vital and extremely important to have those updated numbers and that updated study. So I just wanted to lend our support to that and say how important we think that is. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Anybody else, Jimmy?
Didn't have anything in the chat, but obviously if you'd like to come forward, you can unmute now.
Okay, so it's 10:46 according to my clock. Hearing none, we will take a recess.
Motion to recess.
I have a motion that we entertain a motion to recess.
Second.
Make a motion to recess. We have a second?
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, we'll be back at 11:30. Thank you.
We're online.
We're online, we love when the veterans come in, that's
Yes.
all I can say. You know, so, thank you, we're back from recess, and we're in a budget hearing with the Veteran Commission, and Tara, you're gonna come up and give us a report. Thank you.
Thanks for having me today.
Thanks.
As always, we have submitted our budget for next year. I was advising Barb that perhaps all of you could keep in mind that to date, it's still not an accurate reflection due to COVID. COVID did put a hurt on every county office and the ability to offer services. I really don't have a whole lot to tell you, except for I am proud to report to the county commissioners that according to 2021, for each of the county dollars that you've authorized our office to have and that we have in fact used, we have brought 63 federal dollars to this county for each dollar that we have used. So that is a very good thing for this county, because that money is then spent by the veterans or the spouses, the surviving spouses, on goods, and it generates revenue.
Just an awesome report. I mean, you know, so tell us a little bit for a few new people in the public, because we're live, how you're structured with your board, and maybe a little bit how your office operates.
Oh,
That
I'd
would
be happy
great.
to.
Yeah, thank you. And
The
where
state-
you're located.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The state of Ohio has deemed that every county in Ohio should have a Veteran Service Commission, and that commission is tasked with having a Veteran Service Officer, at least one. And our office is fortunate to have 3. We have one new service officer who came on board in January. Her name is Kenzie Mitchell, and she has hit the ground running. She's accredited with the state and 2 service organizations already, and she is doing very well. Scott Marakis, he's been on board for just over 5 years now, I believe, as a service officer. Prior to that, he was the transportation coordinator. And then I have been working between Wyandotte County and Seneca County for almost 20 years. And 2024, I will hit my 20 years of being a service officer. Yeah, I know, right? That's crazy. So I have 5 commissioners. They're appointed by the judge, and they represent different veterans service organizations in this county. One of my veteran service commissioners is at large. The others represent the American Legion, the VFW, the DAV, and the AMVETS. And they oversee all the duties of the office. They
So they're
are
appointed based on the organization, not, you know, Army.
correct.
Okay,
The
I guess I
service,
didn't know that, yeah.
their service branch is irrelevant in the appointment.
Yes, okay, good,
Yeah.
yeah, got it.
And we have an office staff that consists of 3 service officers, an administrative assistant who is new. She's a new addition. The entire position is a new addition to our office. But I will tell you, I'm not quite sure how we got along without her. She has been an absolute blessing to us. She is assisting us and running so smooth. It's been wonderful.
That's great.
I also have Mark Vittorio as the transportation coordinator, and then 3 part-time drivers.
Awesome. Anybody in the audience want to say anything?
Well-oiled machine.
We try to be. We try to be. Our biggest goal is to make sure that the veterans in Seneca County are well served, and that they are connected to the benefits that they deserve, that they earned, not struggling, trying to connect to those.
How many total veterans do we have in the county? Do you know a ballpark number?
Wait, one, I can tell.
Sorry to throw you on
I
the
can,
spot.
no, you're fine, you're fine. This should have an actual, and I can give you my copy once I'm done, Tyler, if you'd like. let's see.
And this number is the ones that have registered with us. I mean, there's vets that,
No,
No?
this number is the one that the VA reports for our county as living here. They are actually, in fact, in receipt of VA monies.
Okay.
This doesn't have anything to do with a report from Seneca County. Veterans are able to migrate between counties, and we have veterans who move a lot. So our county, we don't take a census of veterans. This is a number that is provided by the VA.
Okay.
And as of 2021, the VA reported 3,516 veterans.
Wow.
So we are considered a small county in Ohio.
Janie's married to a veteran.
I do believe there are more veterans, but perhaps those veterans are not enrolled in health care or not in receipt of any VA compensation or pension.
Yes, we would, sure. Yeah.
So I
Let me
truly,
ask Jody a question. So you're part of the, what's it called when you go to funerals and the
Honor Guard.
The honor guard. Can you, it's awesome. And I see some of your members here. Can you explain that and how you function too?
our official title is the United Veterans Council of Seneca County. And I'm the president of that, but most people refer to us as the Honor Guard or Colored Guard.
Yes.
We're typically, every veteran is entitled to have our services. It's at no cost to anybody, to the vets or anybody. However, the commission does pay us $7 per person per funeral, and we use that money to maintain our uniforms, you know, flags and so forth, things that we need to carry on. But it's real simple. If an individual wants the service for their deceased veteran, all they gotta do is tell the funeral director. The funeral director reaches out to me, and we're there.
You guys are
Place, date, time, that's all we need. We'll take care of everything else.
Appreciate all you do.
It's our honor, really. And it's kind of sad for me when I read veteran obituaries and they don't have our service. Sometimes the veteran doesn't want anything, and sometimes the families don't want them. They think they might be bothering us. They're not. We want to do this. We want to honor our deceased veterans, and it's their military right to have this done. So please reach out to tell your funeral director that you want this service done.
Be nice if the AT would put that out or let people know that you guys want to partake in that and be a part. I mean,
And just like every veteran organization that we have, not just here in Ohio, but everywhere across America, the post 9/11 veterans aren't signing up. It's all Vietnam vets running everything, and they're now approaching 80 years old. So any
The Afghanistan era
yes,
and all that? Okay.
yeah, post 9/11 is what we refer to it.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
Vet, we need you. We need you to sign up for these clubs, and I'm the youngest with the Honor Guard. I'm the youngest, and my oldest is 86, and they're not going to be here forever.
I remember Jim Roberts. I mean, he didn't miss a beat.
Yeah. So yeah, we need you. The post 9/11 vets, we need you.
Is there a reason in your mind or opinion that maybe they're not being as active?
I believe it's social media. I believe it's Facebook. They don't have to go outside their house to socialize. That's my opinion. I don't know for sure, but that's my opinion. Since we got all this technology, you don't have to leave the house. And and most people think that these clubs are a bunch of old guys sitting around telling war stories and drinking. It's mostly true, but the big picture, they don't see the big picture. All these posts, the Legion, the AMVETS, and VFW, they're the ones fighting for our rights at DC level. And if these places close up, these posts close up, vets won't have any benefits. It'll just go away.
That's your voice.
Yeah. These clubs are our voices. Maybe not that the local, but we need the local stuff to do the state stuff, to do the national stuff, to go to DC and advocate for the veterans, for our benefits. If it was up to DC, that we wouldn't have anything. They'd take that money and use it on something else. So if anybody's hearing me, please join your local clubs, and I need you in the Honor Guard too.
Never thought of it that way.
Anybody else? You guys good? Lynn? Thank you for
Thank
your
you, Tom.
service. Now, this is a dumb question, but are all your employees veterans?
All except for the administrative assistant.
Yeah. Okay. I think I kind of knew that, but I asked it, so now I do know it.
In order to be a service officer in the state of Ohio, you must be a veteran.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And I can't speak highly enough of the United Veterans Council in Tiffin
Oh.
and also Fostoria United Veterans. They're always out there in the county trying to make sure that the honors are given. And they're super guys and a couple gals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a goosebump moment for me whenever I go to a military funeral, and it's just, that's all I can say. I mean, it's the respect and the way your words, and you fold the flag, you get on one knee and you present it to the family. It's just unbelievable. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Sure, thanks for asking.
Anything else? You guys do a great job, and we don't need anything this year. You're not buying any, really.
We did purchase a car
In a car, I think.
in 2022,
Remember that.
just recently, and that was in part
But,
because gas went to $5 and we weren't quite sure what was going to happen
yeah, okay.
at that juncture. And the Expedition she's got about 160,000 miles on her now, give or take.
Gotta get a new one.
The office transports veterans to Toledo and Ann Arbor. And we don't want it to break down with sick veterans in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, right.
It's very difficult to get it back, and we've experienced that before. So it's always a big scramble when that happens. But we adapt and overcome. That's what we do.
Right. So I guess, do we have any other, are we good? I mean, we really appreciate it. You were actually our first formal budget hearing, and we started, this is gonna be a tough act to follow.
We're good. If you're good, we're
You
good.
guys are real good, and we love, you coming in, and we want to just thank you for your service. It's just amazing, really.
We realize that this is taxpayer money, and we try to spend it effectively and frugally.
Amen. Good, so hearing no other public comment, anybody want to say anything? Jimmy, we good? All right, I'm going to formally adjourn the meeting. Meeting's adjourned, 11:44.